Thomas Russell gripped his coffee mug, staring at the architectural plans spread across his desk. At 32, he built a reputation at Morton and Associates for delivering projects that exceeded expectations. His latest design, a mixed-use development in downtown Hartford, would be his biggest achievement yet. "Tom, got a minute?" David Morton, the firm's founder, peered into his office. "Bradley Myers is here for the project review." Tom nodded, straightening his tie. "Send him in." He gathered his thoughts, preparing to present his vision to the real estate developer who'd become a regular client over the past year. Bradley Myers strode in, designer suit perfectly tailored to his athletic frame. "Tom, always good to see you." His handshake was firm, practiced. "How's Olivia?" "She's doing great," Tom replied, ignoring the slight tension in his jaw whenever Bradley mentioned his wife. "The morning sickness has finally passed. She's excited about the baby shower next weekend." "Ah yes, Rachel mentioned it. We wouldn't miss it." Bradley settled into the chair across from Tom's desk, his confident smile never wavering. As they reviewed the plans, Tom's mind drifted to the day he met Olivia. The charity event had transformed the local community center into an elegant venue for the annual fundraiser. Tom had been supervising his father's crew, setting up the lighting when he noticed her struggling with a heavy box of decorations. "Need a hand?" he'd asked, already moving to help. Olivia had looked up, strands of dark hair falling across her face. "My hero," she'd laughed, surrendering the box. "I'm Olivia Winters." "Tom Russell." He'd set the box down, noticing her elegant clothes and manicured nails. Clearly not a regular volunteer. "You're not used to heavy lifting, are you? That obvious?" She'd smoothed her designer dress. "I'm trying something new. My family thinks I'm crazy for being here instead of attending the gala as a guest." Tom learned later that the Winters family controlled half the real estate in 3 counties. Olivia had rejected her trust fund, determined to prove herself as a lawyer without her family's influence. Her independence had impressed him, along with her quick wit and genuine interest in his work. Their courtship had been a whirlwind. Dinner dates where they talked until restaurants closed. Weekend trips exploring small towns. Olivia never made him feel less than her equal, despite their different backgrounds. When he proposed 6 months later, her yes felt like the beginning of a perfect life. "Tom," Bradley's voice snapped him back to the present. "What do you think about adjusting the residential tower's orientation?" Tom refocused on the plans, unaware that Bradley was remembering different moments with Olivia. Stolen kisses in hotel elevators, urgent meetings in out-of-town conferences, passionate encounters in his private office after hours. Later that evening, Tom pulled into his driveway, noting Olivia's car was missing. His phone buzzed with a text, "Shopping with your mom. Don't wait up. Love you." He smiled, grateful that Olivia and his mother had grown so close. Catherine Russell had taken Olivia under her wing from the start, often inviting her for lunch or shopping trips. Tom never questioned their friendship, appreciating how his mother had welcomed Olivia into the family. Inside his home office, Tom reviewed some final details for the baby shower. Olivia had insisted on hosting at their house, wanting everything to be perfect. His hand brushed against a small photo frame, their wedding day. Olivia radiant in white, his mother beaming beside them, his father looking proud in his rented tuxedo. James Russell had built his construction company from nothing, teaching Tom the value of honest work. "Success isn't about how much money you make," he always said. "It's about being able to look yourself in the mirror at the end of the day." Tom wondered what his father would think about Catherine's frequent complaints that James should have expanded the business, taken bigger risks. She'd made similar comments about Tom's career choices, suggesting he should be more ambitious. The sound of a car door made him look up. Through the window, he watched Olivia hurry inside, shopping bags in hand. She appeared in his office doorway moments later, her pregnancy giving her a radiant glow. "Found the perfect dress for the shower," she announced, dropping a kiss on his cheek. "Your mother has amazing taste." "That she does," Tom agreed, pulling Olivia into his lap. "How was your day?" "Busy. The Morrison case is taking forever." She rested her head on his shoulder. "But let's not talk about work. I'm starving." As they prepared dinner together, Tom noticed small changes in Olivia's behavior, the way she checked her phone more frequently, how she kept conversations superficial, her reluctance to discuss plans beyond the baby's arrival. He dismissed his concerns as pregnancy anxiety, trusting in the foundation they'd built. Across town, Bradley Myers sat in his study, a glass of scotch in hand. His phone displayed a message from Olivia. "Miss you. Can't wait until Monday's project meeting." He typed back, "Dinner with Rachel? Call you later." Setting the phone down, he considered the complexity of their situation. The pregnancy had complicated things, but Catherine's support had proven invaluable in maintaining their secret. Bradley recalled his first post-college encounter with Olivia at a bar association dinner 3 years ago. The spark between them had reignited instantly, leading to drinks, then dinner, then a hotel room. What started as nostalgia evolved into a carefully orchestrated affair, with Catherine Russell serving as their unwitting alibi. In her own home, Catherine stood before her bedroom mirror, applying night cream. The weight of her deceptions pressed against her conscience, but she justified them easily. Olivia deserved better than the modest life Tom offered. Like James, her son lacked the ambition to reach his full potential. The small amount she diverted from the company books to help Olivia maintain appearances seemed insignificant compared to the wealth the Winters family had rejected. Catherine saw herself as protecting Olivia, ensuring she had resources independent of Tom's limited means. A text from Olivia lit up her phone. "Thank you for today. Don't know what I'd do without you." Catherine smiled, remembering their afternoon spent not shopping but meeting with Bradley at his beach house. She'd driven Olivia there, stood guard, protected their secret. In her mind, she was saving both Olivia and her unborn grandchild from a life of mediocrity. The next week passed in a blur of preparations. Tom threw himself into work, securing new projects and impressing clients. Each success felt hollow knowing his mother thought him inadequate, but he channeled that pain into determination. Saturday morning dawned bright. Tom rose early, helping Olivia arrange furniture and set up decorations for the baby shower. Guests would arrive at 2, bringing gifts and well wishes for a child they assumed was his. "The caterers are here," Olivia called from downstairs. "Can you help them set up in the kitchen?" Tom headed down, passing photos of their life together on the stairwell wall. Each image told a story he now questioned, memories tainted by growing suspicions he couldn't quite name. The morning rushed by in a flurry of activity. By 1:30, their home had transformed into a celebration space. Pink and white decorations proclaimed "It's a girl," while elegant flower arrangements perfumed the air. Guests began arriving promptly at 2. Rachel Myers appeared first, her designer outfit and perfect makeup masking her own suspicions about Bradley's frequent absences. Catherine arrived moments later, hugging Olivia with conspiratorial affection. "Everything looks wonderful," Catherine gushed, adjusting a centerpiece. "Tom, be a dear and get more ice from the garage." Tom nodded, heading outside. The garage door stuck slightly. He'd been meaning to fix it. As he filled a bucket with ice from the freezer, voices drifted through the kitchen window above. "Keep your mouth shut about the real father," Catherine's voice carried clearly. "My idiot son would crumble if he knew. Name the baby Margaret, and I'll take this secret to my grave." The ice bucket slipped from Tom's hands, spilling across the concrete floor. His phone was in his hand before conscious thought intervened, recording app capturing every word of their continued conversation. "I don't know how much longer I can do this." Olivia's voice wavered. "Bradley's getting impatient. He wants me to leave Tom after the baby comes." "Patience, dear. We need to handle this delicately. I've arranged everything so you'll be taken care of." Tom stood frozen, his world imploding silently as the celebration continued inside. The betrayal crystallized in his mind, not just his wife's infidelity, but his mother's calculated deception. Years of subtle criticism, of pushed expectations, revealed themselves as preparation for this moment. His hands steady despite the rage coursing through him. Tom saved the recording and slipped his phone back into his pocket. He gathered more ice, his movements deliberate and controlled. Inside, he distributed drinks with a pleasant smile, playing the role of excited father-to-be. Through the afternoon, he watched them all with new eyes. Bradley's possessive glances at Olivia, Catherine's protective hovering, Rachel's forced cheerfulness. Every laugh, every congratulatory hug, Every shared joke became evidence of their elaborate deception. When the last guest departed, Tom helped clean up while plotting his response. The contractor's son in him approached it like a demolition project: identify structural weaknesses, plan the sequence, control the collapse. That night, as Olivia slept beside him, Tom lay awake, his mind racing. The baby shower recording played on repeat in his earbuds, each word feeding his determination. He would dismantle their lives with the same precision they'd used to deceive him. Opening his laptop, Tom began researching private investigators. James Morrison's name appeared in his father's old contact list, a retired detective who owed the Russell Construction Company a favor. Tom composed a careful email, setting his plan in motion. The perfect lie was unraveling. In its place, Tom would craft a perfect revenge, ensuring that everyone who betrayed him would face consequences they never imagined. The modest, hard-working man they'd underestimated would show them exactly how ambitious he could be when properly motivated. Chapter 2. The Web Unravels. The following Monday, Tom sat across from James Morrison in a quiet diner on the outskirts of town. The retired detective looked exactly as Tom's father had described: weathered face, sharp eyes, and an air of contained competence. "Your father helped me out of a tight spot years ago," Morrison said, stirring his coffee. "Hired my boy when nobody else would touch him. I've waited for a chance to repay that debt." Tom slid a thick envelope across the table. "I need everything: photos, messages, financial records." 3 years of surveillance compressed into 3 weeks. Morrison's eyebrows rose at the amount inside. "This is twice my usual rate. Consider it motivation for discretion. I want Bradley Myers and my wife tracked 24/7. I need to know every meeting, every call, every dime spent." Tom's voice remained steady. "And I want my mother's financial records from Russell Construction audited quietly." Family matter? Morrison's expression revealed nothing. Tom played the baby shower recording. Morrison listened without comment, his coffee growing cold. "I'll need access to your company's books," he said finally, "and someone inside who can help without raising alarms." "Mike Donovan," Tom replied. "He's handled our accounts for 20 years. My father trusts him completely." "Your father doesn't know about this?" "No one knows. And it stays that way until I decide otherwise." Morrison nodded, respect flickering in his eyes. "I'll contact Donovan directly. Give me 2 weeks for preliminary findings." Tom returned to work, maintaining his routine with mechanical precision. He attended project meetings, reviewed designs, and endured Bradley's false camaraderie with a smile that never reached his eyes. At home, he watched Olivia's growing belly with detached interest, imagining the life growing inside her: Bradley's child, his mother's conspiracy, their shared betrayal taking physical form. Catherine increased her presence, offering advice about nursery colors and birthing classes. Each suggestion carried hidden meaning now. Tom recognized her casual references to Bradley's successful projects as the subtle digs they'd always been. "You really should consider joining his firm," she mentioned over dinner one evening. "Bradley values talent. The opportunities would be—" "I'm happy where I am," Tom interrupted, studying her face. "Not everyone measures success in dollar signs." Catherine's lips tightened. "You sound just like your father. Content with mediocrity while others build empires." "Those empires often have weak foundations," Tom replied mildly. "They tend to collapse under pressure." The double meaning sailed past her, but Olivia shifted uncomfortably in her seat. Tom wondered if she sensed the change in him, the hardening beneath his calm exterior. Morrison's first report arrived via encrypted email exactly 2 weeks later. Tom reviewed it in his office after hours, each page confirming his worst suspicions and revealing new depths of deception. The affair had begun 3 months before his wedding. Bradley and Olivia met regularly at a boutique hotel outside town, their encounters disguised as business meetings or shopping trips. Catherine acted as lookout and alibi, coordinating their schedules and creating plausible cover stories. Financial records showed Catherine had embezzled over $100,000 from Russell Construction in small increments, funneling the money through fake vendor accounts into a private fund for Olivia. The theft was cleverly hidden, spread across multiple projects over years. Tom downloaded everything to an encrypted drive, then contacted Patricia Walsh. The divorce attorney's reputation for ruthlessness matched his current mood perfectly. "I remember your father," Patricia said during their first meeting. "Honest man. This will hurt him." "Everyone gets hurt," Tom replied. "The question is who deserves it." Patricia reviewed the evidence, her expression growing grimmer. "You want full custody? Of Bradley Myers' child?" "No. I want everything else. The house, the assets, her reputation. I want her disbarred for ethical violations when this hits the papers. The publicity will affect your business. I'll survive. They won't." Patricia smiled thinly. "I like cases with clear objectives. When do we strike?" "Not yet. Morrison's still gathering evidence on Bradley's company. I want his board of directors to have front row seats when this show starts." Tom's patience was tested daily. Bradley grew bolder, finding excuses to visit the office, his presence a constant reminder of the deception. Olivia's pregnancy progressed, each doctor's appointment and ultrasound photo another twist of the knife. Catherine increased her financial manipulation, unaware that Mike Donovan now monitored every transaction. She arranged a surprise baby shower gift, a diamond bracelet Tom knew came from Bradley through his mother's creative accounting. "It's too much," Olivia protested when Catherine presented it. "Nonsense. Every new mother deserves something special." Catherine glanced at Tom. Since some people focus on more practical matters, Tom admired the bracelet with feigned interest. Beautiful craftsmanship, almost looks like the ones Bradley's company gives preferred clients. Both women froze momentarily. Tom pretended not to notice, but filed their reaction away as more evidence for Morrison's growing file. The investigation expanded to include Bradley's wife Rachel. Morrison discovered she'd hired her own private investigator months ago, suspecting her husband's infidelity but lacking concrete proof. Tom arranged a lunch meeting with Rachel, ostensibly to discuss an upcoming project. She arrived precisely on time, perfectly composed but radiating barely concealed tension. "Bradley speaks highly of your work," she said, studying the menu without interest. "Professional respect is important," Tom replied. "Trust, loyalty, honesty, fundamental values in any relationship." Rachel's hand trembled slightly as she sipped her water. "Indeed. Shame how rare those qualities are becoming." Tom slid an envelope across the table, watching her expression as she glimpsed its contents. "These copies are yours," he said quietly. "The originals are safe. We should discuss timing." Rachel closed the envelope, her socialite mask cracking. "How long have you known?" "Long enough. The question is, what do we do about it?" Their collaboration added another layer to Tom's plan. Rachel's connections in the media and Bradley's company proved invaluable, providing access to information Morrison couldn't reach. The pressure began affecting everyone. Olivia grew increasingly anxious, her pregnancy complications requiring more frequent doctor visits. Bradley made mistakes in business dealings, distracted by Rachel's sudden interest in company operations. Catherine sensed something amiss but couldn't identify the threat. Her attempts to monitor Tom's activities revealed nothing, his composure never wavering despite the storm building inside him. Chapter 3. The Mask Slips. James Morrison sat in his unmarked car outside the boutique hotel, camera equipped with a telephoto lens resting on his lap. 3 weeks of surveillance had established clear patterns, but today's meeting was different. Bradley Myers had reserved the penthouse suite instead of their usual room. Morrison's phone buzzed, a text from his contact at the hotel. Subject B arrived through service entrance. Subject O expected in 20 minutes. The detective adjusted his position, remembering Tom Russell's instructions. Document everything. I want times, dates, locations. Leave nothing to chance. Right on schedule, Olivia's silver Mercedes pulled into the parking structure. Catherine Russell's red BMW followed minutes later, taking up position near the exit, their standard routine. Morrison photographed everything. Olivia entering through the side door, Catherine's vigilant observation of the street, the timestamp proving their location during what was supposed to be a doctor's appointment. Across town, Tom reviewed the latest financial records Mike Donovan had provided. The company's longtime accountant had been horrified to discover Catherine's systematic theft. She created ghost vendors, Mike explained, pointing to highlighted entries. Small amounts, spread across different projects. Look here. Premium lighting solutions doesn't exist, but we've paid them thousands. Tom nodded, adding the documents to his growing file. Can you track where the money went? Multiple accounts. She's careful, but not careful enough. Mike pulled up another spreadsheet. Everything routes through this holding company before going to an account in Olivia's name. Does my father suspect anything? Mike shook his head. James trusts your mother completely. Never questions her reports. The betrayal burned deeper. Catherine hadn't just betrayed Tom. She'd violated his father's trust, stealing from the business he'd built through decades of honest work. Morrison's report arrived that evening, including photos that removed any lingering doubt. The detective had captured Bradley and Olivia in various compromising situations, their affair documented in high-resolution detail. More revealing were the conversations Morrison had recorded in public places. Bradley and Olivia discussed their future plans openly during lunch meetings, confident their cover stories would hold. Tom's too trusting, Olivia had said during one recorded conversation. He actually believes I'm having lunch with his mother right now. Bradley's laugh carried clearly on the recording. Catherine's been surprisingly helpful. Who knew Tom's own mother would be our best ally? She thinks he's wasted potential, just like his father. Simple people living simple lives. Tom played the recording twice, letting their contempt fuel his resolve. His phone buzzed with a text from Catherine. Dinner tomorrow night? Need to discuss the nursery plans. Can't wait, he replied, masking his disgust. Olivia mentioned you helped her pick out baby furniture. Catherine's response was quick, just doing what any good mother would do. Someone has to think about the child's future. The next evening, Tom sat through dinner at his parents' house, watching his mother's performance with new awareness. Every gesture, every concerned comment about his career choices carried hidden meaning. Bradley's firm is expanding, Catherine mentioned, serving dessert. They're recruiting top talent, offering significant compensation packages. James Russell looked up from his pie. Tom's doing well where he is. Not everyone needs to run a corporate empire. That's the problem with you Russell men, Catherine snapped. No ambition beyond your comfortable routines. Some people dream bigger. Some people confuse size with substance, Tom interjected calmly. Big dreams often lead to big falls. Catherine's eyes narrowed at his tone. For the first time, Tom saw uncertainty flicker across her face. You sound bitter, dear. Is everything all right? Perfect, Tom smiled, the expression not reaching his eyes. Just learning some interesting lessons about trust and loyalty lately. Later that night, Tom sat in his home office, reviewing Morrison's latest updates. The detective had uncovered Catherine's regular meetings with Bradley, separate from the affair. They discussed finances, strategies, contingency plans. Your mother's playing a deeper game, Morrison noted in his report. This isn't just about the affair. She's been positioning pieces for years, using company money to build influence. Tom's phone lit up with a message from Rachel Myers. Bradley's acting strange. Asking questions about asset holdings and divorce laws. Keep playing your role, Tom replied. Everything's on schedule. The next morning, Tom met Patricia Walsh to review their strategy. The divorce attorney had built a devastating case, combining Morrison's evidence with financial records and witness statements. Your mother's embezzlement gives us additional leverage, Patricia explained. Once this goes public, Olivia's law firm will drop her immediately. No one will risk association with this scandal. And Bradley's company? Rachel's provided copies of internal communications. The board members are already concerned about his recent decisions. This will bury him. Tom leaned back, considering the dominoes about to fall. What about custody issues? DNA testing will prove you're not the father. Given the circumstances and Olivia's role in the deception, we can push for significant financial penalties. Her ethical violations alone. I don't want the child, Tom interrupted. Let them deal with the consequences of their choices. Patricia studied him thoughtfully. Most men in your position would fight for anything they could claim. I'm not most men, and that's not my child. The meeting concluded with timeline discussions and strategy refinements. Tom left feeling oddly lighter, as if sharing the burden of knowledge had strengthened his resolve. That evening, he watched Olivia prepare for another late meeting at her law firm. She moved carefully, her pregnant belly now prominent, still believing her deception remained hidden. "Don't wait up," she called, grabbing her keys. "These case files might take all night." Tom nodded, already receiving Morrison's text confirming Bradley's arrival at their usual hotel. "Be careful driving. Roads are dangerous at night." Olivia paused, perhaps catching something in his tone. "Is everything okay? You've seemed distant lately." "Just thinking about the future," Tom replied truthfully. "How quickly things can change when you see people's true nature." She hesitated, uncertainty crossing her face. "Tom, better hurry. Wouldn't want to keep anyone waiting." After she left, Tom reviewed the final pieces of Morrison's investigation. The detective had assembled a comprehensive narrative of betrayal, dates, times, locations, financial transactions, recorded conversations. Every detail documented, every lie exposed. His mother's role emerged as particularly calculated. Catherine had orchestrated opportunities for Bradley and Olivia to meet, managed their financial arrangements, and systematically undermined Tom's confidence while promoting Bradley's success. The theft from Russell Construction revealed her broader strategy. Catherine had been building a safety net for Olivia, ensuring she would have resources when the truth emerged. She betrayed not just Tom, but the entire Russell family's values. Tom closed the files, his decision crystallizing. The comfortable lies they'd all lived with would end soon. His father would learn the truth about his wife's duplicity. Bradley's carefully crafted business reputation would crumble. Olivia's legal career would implode, and his mother, Catherine, would lose everything she valued: social status, financial security, family trust. Her orchestration of this betrayal deserved nothing less. The baby shower recording still played in Tom's mind, his mother's words revealing her true character. "My idiot son would crumble if he knew." They had underestimated him, dismissing him as simple and unambitious like his father. Their contempt would be their downfall. Tom Russell, the trusting husband and devoted son, had died the day he heard that conversation. In his place stood a man willing to destroy everything and everyone who had betrayed him. The stage was set. The evidence gathered. Act 1 of their perfect lie was ending. The reckoning would begin soon. Chapter 4. Setting the Stage. Tom Russell sat in his car outside the Healing Hearts support group, watching people filter into the community center. Patricia Walsh had suggested he find an outlet for his anger that wouldn't compromise their legal strategy. "Channel that rage productively," she'd advised. "Find someone who understands what you're going through." He hadn't planned to speak during the meeting, but something about Megan O'Connor's direct gaze made him stand when she asked for new members to share. "I'm Tom," he said, his voice steady. "I recently discovered my wife's affair. The baby she's carrying isn't mine. My mother helped them hide it." The words hung in the air. Megan, the grief counselor leading the session, nodded encouragingly. "How are you handling that discovery, Tom?" "By planning," he replied simply, noting how her eyes sharpened at his tone. After the meeting, Megan approached him. "Most people come here looking for forgiveness strategies. You seem to have different goals. Forgiveness is overrated. And revenge?" She studied him carefully. "Does that rate higher?" Tom met her gaze. "Justice rates highest. Sometimes that looks like revenge." Their conversation continued in a nearby coffee shop. Megan didn't offer platitudes about healing or moving on. Instead, she asked precise questions about his emotional state, his support system, his ability to maintain focus under pressure. "You're not trying to talk me out of it," Tom observed. "Would it work if I did?" Megan stirred her coffee. Sometimes the healthiest response to betrayal is controlled demolition. The key word being controlled. Tom found himself sharing details of his evidence gathering, his legal preparations, the careful documentation of each betrayal. Megan listened without judgment, offering insights into maintaining emotional distance while executing complex plans. "You'll need anchors," she explained. "Points of stability when things get chaotic. Professional ones, like your attorney. Personal ones, like a grief counselor. Like someone who understands the difference between revenge and justice." She wrote her private number on a business card. Call if you need perspective. The next morning, Tom implemented the first phase of his plan. He began recording conversations, using technology Morrison had provided. Each interaction with Olivia and Catherine became part of his growing archive of deception. The nursery color looks perfect, Catherine gushed during a video call Olivia had initiated from the baby's room. Though that furniture seems rather basic, Tom insisted on staying within a budget, Olivia sighed. The camera panning across the room Tom had painted himself. Bradley's nursery set is still available, Catherine replied. I could arrange. Mom, please, Tom interrupted from the doorway, recording their startled expressions. Let us handle our own decisions. Later, reviewing the footage, Tom noted how quickly they recovered, switching to innocent topics. He added the video to his evidence file, then placed a call to Rachel Myers. They met at a small cafe far from their usual business haunts. Rachel's designer outfit and perfect makeup couldn't hide her exhaustion. Bradley's getting careless, she said without preamble. Late meetings, suspicious calls, unexplained expenses. He thinks I'm too focused on my charity work to notice. Tom slid a manila envelope across the table. These might interest you. Rachel examined the contents, photos of Bradley and Olivia entering various hotels, credit card statements showing duplicate dinner charges, a transcript of Catherine's conversation about the baby's paternity. You've been busy, Rachel murmured, her journalism background evident in how she processed the information. Why show me this? Because you deserve to make informed decisions. Tom watched her reactions carefully. And because you have access I need? Rachel's laugh held no humor. You want inside information about Bradley's company? His vulnerabilities? I want justice. The board members should know how their CEO spends company time and resources. They're old-fashioned men, Rachel mused, very concerned with image and reputation. Bradley's convinced them he's the perfect family man, devoted husband, pillar of the community. Perfect facades crack under pressure. Rachel tapped the envelope thoughtfully. I serve on 3 committees with most of their wives. We chair fundraisers together, share gossip at charity galas. Information is power, Tom noted. Yes, it is. Rachel's smile turned predatory. Let's discuss strategy. Over the next weeks, Tom built his network carefully. Rachel provided insights into Bradley's business operations and social connections. Morrison continued surveillance, documenting meetings and tracking financial transactions. Patricia Walsh prepared legal documents designed to strike from multiple angles simultaneously. During this time, Tom maintained regular sessions with Megan O'Connor. Their conversations helped him refine his approach, focusing his anger into precise actions rather than blind rage. You're different from my usual clients, Megan observed during one late-night discussion. They want to hurt their betrayers immediately, messily. You're willing to wait. Patience builds better traps. Tom described his latest recordings, the evidence of Catherine's embezzlement, the web of lies surrounding the pregnancy. Your mother's betrayal cuts deepest, Megan noted. Why wait to expose her? Because she needs to fall furthest. Tom's voice held no emotion. She protected their affair, stole from my father, undermined me at work. When she falls, she loses everything. Megan studied him in the dim light of her office. Most people would call that cruel. Most people haven't heard their mother call them an idiot while protecting their wife's affair. Their sessions often ran late, moving from professional counseling to deeper discussions of motivation and consequence. Tom found himself drawn to Megan's analytical mind, her understanding of human nature, her acceptance of his need for retribution. Meanwhile, the pressure began affecting his targets. Bradley grew increasingly paranoid about Rachel's questions regarding company finances. Olivia made mistakes in legal documents, her pregnancy hormones amplifying her stress. Catherine sensed something amiss but couldn't identify the threat. Tom watched it all through the lens of his recordings, each slip adding evidence to his case. He maintained his professional reputation, even accepting Bradley's lunch invitations to discuss potential projects. Your designs really stand out, Bradley mentioned during one such meeting. You should consider joining my firm. The compensation would be significant. Tom recorded the conversation, noting how Bradley emphasized the financial benefits. I appreciate the offer, but I'm comfortable where I am. Comfort is overrated. Bradley's smile didn't reach his eyes. A man in your position, with a baby on the way. You should think bigger. I'll give it some thought, Tom replied, adding another layer to his performance. Family has to come first, after all. The irony of that statement wasn't lost on either man. Chapter 5. The First Strike. Tom sat across from Patricia Walsh in her office, reviewing financial documents spread across her desk. The divorce attorney's reputation for ruthlessness had proven well-deserved. She'd constructed a strategy designed to strip Olivia of everything while exposing the full scope of the affair. The timing needs to be perfect, Patricia explained, highlighting key passages. We file these documents simultaneously with the corporate board's meeting. Rachel's information about Bradley's misuse of company resources provides leverage. Tom examined the paperwork. What about Catherine's embezzlement? Mike Donovan's records are conclusive. The audit trail leads directly to Olivia's secret account. Patricia's smile was sharp. Your mother's creative bookkeeping will trigger automatic investigations once we file. My father's company? Protected. We've documented that James had no knowledge of the theft. The evidence shows Catherine acted alone, using her position to funnel money to Olivia. Tom nodded, remembering his father's trust in Catherine's financial management. Another betrayal in a growing list. The next phase began with subtle financial moves. Tom transferred assets methodically, documenting each transaction. Joint accounts were separated, investments reallocated, property ownership adjusted through carefully worded amendments. Olivia noticed the changes during her monthly review of their finances. Some of our accounts look different, she mentioned over dinner. Did you make adjustments? Just protecting our future, Tom replied, recording her reaction. With the baby coming, we need to be strategic. Catherine called the next day, probing for information. Olivia seems concerned about money. Is everything all right? Perfect, Tom assured her, adding the conversation to his evidence file. Just preparing for fatherhood responsibly. He heard his mother's disapproval through the phone. You sound just like your father. Always worried about pennies instead of pursuing real wealth. Some of us have to earn our money honestly, Tom responded, letting a hint of edge enter his voice. Catherine paused, perhaps sensing the implied criticism. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing at all, Mom. How's the company's quarterly audit going? The question sparked a noticeable change in Catherine's tone. Fine. Everything's fine. I should go. I have appointments. Tom forwarded the recording to Morrison, who confirmed Catherine had immediately called Bradley. Their conversation, captured by the detective's surveillance, revealed growing anxiety about financial scrutiny. Rachel provided regular updates on Bradley's deteriorating state. He's making mistakes, she reported during one of their meetings. Snapping at board members, missing deadlines, drinking at lunch. Keep watching, Tom instructed. Document everything. The wives are talking, Rachel added, her journalist's instincts for gossip proving valuable. Bradley's behavior at the country club. His long lunches with a pregnant woman who isn't his wife. Reputations are fragile in our circle. Tom's next move targeted Olivia's law firm. Anonymous tips about ethical violations appeared in their compliance department's inbox. Hints about a senior associate's inappropriate relationship with a major client surfaced in industry circles. The pressure showed in Olivia's performance. She missed filing deadlines, overlooked critical contract details, arrived late to client meetings. Her pregnancy complications increased, requiring more frequent doctor visits, some real, others covers for meetings with Bradley. I'm worried about you, Catherine told her during one recorded lunch. You seem stressed. Is Tom causing problems? Olivia pushed her salad around the plate. He's different lately. Distant. Sometimes I think he suspects. Impossible, Catherine interrupted. My son sees what he expects to see. Just keep things normal until the baby comes. I'm handling the financial arrangements. Tom added their conversation to Patricia's files, then met with Morrison to review the latest surveillance. The detective had photographed Bradley making a scene at his office, yelling at his assistant after Rachel questioned certain expense reports. Your wife's investigating him through the company's charitable foundation, Morrison explained. She's got good instincts, found irregularities in donation records that connect to your mother's embezzlement. Excellent. Tom examined the photos. Keep tracking them. I want evidence of their reactions as everything unravels. That evening, Tom attended another session with Megan, sharing updates on his progress. You're enjoying this, she observed, noting his attention to detail. The planning, the precision, the way they're destructing under pressure. I'm delivering consequences, Tom corrected. They chose their actions. I'm choosing the response. Megan leaned forward. Most people in your position act from pure emotion. You're different. Calculated. Almost cold. Is that a professional observation? Both professional and personal. She held his gaze. You're rewriting the rules of recovery from betrayal. Their conversation shifted to deeper waters, discussing motivation, justice, the thin line between revenge and redemption. Tom found himself drawn to her analytical mind, her understanding of his need for precise retribution. The pressure continued mounting on all fronts. Bradley's company board scheduled emergency meetings to discuss leadership concerns. Olivia's law firm launched an internal ethics review. Catherine grew increasingly agitated as audit questions multiplied. Tom watched through his network of cameras and recordings as their perfect facades cracked. Each mistake, each panicked phone call, each attempted cover-up added evidence to his files. The stage was set. The first strikes had landed. His targets were off balance, making mistakes, revealing vulnerabilities. Tom Russell, the man they'd underestimated, the son they'd dismissed as unambitious, had orchestrated their unraveling with precision they never imagined him capable of achieving. Chapter 6. Collateral Damage. Mike Donovan's hands shook as he placed another stack of financial records on Tom's desk. The company's senior accountant had aged years since discovering Catherine's systematic theft. She hid it well, Mike explained, pointing to highlighted entries. Small amounts from different projects, routed through fake vendors. But once you know what to look for, Tom examined the documents. How long? 3 years of definitive proof. Maybe more I haven't found yet. Mike wiped his forehead. Your father trusts her completely with the books. Never questions her reports. Keep digging, Tom instructed. Document everything. And Mike, thank you for coming to me first. I've worked for your father for 20 years. Watched you grow up in this business. The way they're betraying both of you. Mike straightened his shoulders. Just tell me what else you need. The evidence of Catherine's financial manipulation proved extensive. She'd created a network of phantom companies, each receiving small payments that added up to significant amounts. The money flowed through multiple accounts before reaching Olivia. Rachel Myers provided another piece of the puzzle during their next meeting. Bradley's been moving company funds through similar channels, she explained, spreading documents across the table. Charitable donations that never reach their intended recipients. Consulting fees for services never rendered. Connected to my mother's accounts? Indirectly. They're careful, but the patterns match. Rachel's investigative skills had proven invaluable. The board's asking questions about financial irregularities. Bradley's getting sloppy under pressure. Tom added her evidence to his growing files. Keep pushing. We need them making mistakes. The strain began showing in various ways. Olivia's law firm noticed declining performance in her case management. Bradley snapped at board meetings when questioned about expense reports. Catherine made coding errors in company books she'd managed flawlessly for years. Tom recorded it all, building a comprehensive record of their disintegration. During one particularly revealing dinner at his parents' house, he captured Catherine's mask slipping. The audit team is asking ridiculous questions, she complained, tension visible despite her practiced composure. 20 years I've managed those books. Now they want to review client payment records. Standard procedure, Tom offered mildly, watching her reaction. Dad's company is growing. More scrutiny is natural. Catherine's hand trembled slightly as she reached for her wine. Your father never cared about financial details before. Always trusted me to handle everything. Trust is valuable, Tom agreed, recording her growing discomfort. Hate to see it broken. Later that week, Morrison reported increased activity at Bradley and Olivia's usual meeting spots. They're getting paranoid, the detective noted, sharing surveillance photos. Meeting more frequently but staying less time. Making mistakes in their cover stories. Signs of pressure, Tom observed, reviewing the images. How's Bradley handling Rachel's investigation? Not well. He tried accessing restricted financial records after hours. Security logged unauthorized attempts to enter the accounting department. Tom forwarded this information to Rachel, who used it to justify deeper scrutiny of Bradley's activities. Her position on the company's charitable foundation provided legitimate reasons to examine donation records. The web of evidence expanded daily. Mike Donovan discovered more of Catherine's financial manipulation. Rachel uncovered Bradley's misuse of company resources. Morrison documented their increasingly erratic behavior. Tom shared updates during his sessions with Megan, finding her insights valuable in predicting his target's reactions to pressure. They're following classic stress response patterns, she explained during one late-night discussion. When carefully constructed facades crack, people either freeze or flail. Your mother's freezing, making mistakes she'd normally never make. Bradley's flailing, lashing out, taking risks. Olivia's somewhere in between. The pressure's affecting her work, Tom agreed. Her firm's opening an ethics review. Megan studied him thoughtfully. You've orchestrated an impressive dissolution of their lives. Most people would have exploded publicly, made accusations, demanded immediate confrontation. That would give them time to hide evidence, construct defenses, shift blame. Tom described his latest findings: more financial documents, surveillance photos, recorded conversations. This way, they destroy themselves. Their discussions often extended beyond professional counseling, touching on philosophy, justice, the nature of betrayal and revenge. Tom found himself drawn to Megan's analytical approach, her understanding of human psychology, her acceptance of his need for precise retribution. The pressure continued mounting. Bradley's board of directors scheduled emergency meetings to discuss leadership concerns. Olivia's law firm expanded their ethics investigation. Catherine faced increasing questions about company finances. Tom watched through his network of surveillance and recordings as their perfect worlds began to fracture. Each day brought new evidence of their desperation. Olivia's mistakes at work multiplied. She mishandled key client meetings, overlooked critical contract details, and struggled to maintain her professional facade. Her pregnancy complications provided convenient excuses, but her firm's partners noticed the decline in her performance. We need to talk about your recent work, her supervisor mentioned during a recorded meeting. These errors aren't like you, Olivia. Is everything all right? Just pregnancy stress, she assured him, her voice betraying tension. I'll do better. But she didn't. More mistakes followed. Important filings contained errors. Client complaints increased. The Ethics Review Committee expanded their investigation into her handling of cases connected to Bradley's company. Bradley faced his own crises. Rachel's careful probe into company finances revealed patterns of misappropriated funds, suspicious consultancy fees, and irregularities in charitable donations. The board's questions became more pointed, their trust visibly eroding. The foundation's audit shows discrepancies, Rachel reported during one board meeting, her tone professionally concerned. Several major donations never reached their intended recipients. Bradley's attempt to explain only raised more questions. His usual confidence cracked under scrutiny. Board members exchanged significant looks as he fumbled through contradictory explanations. The pressure affected his relationship with Olivia. Their meetings grew shorter, tenser. Morrison's surveillance captured increasingly heated arguments in hotel lobbies and restaurant parking lots. You're not thinking clearly, Bradley snapped during one recorded exchange. We need to be more careful. Rachel's asking questions. The board's watching everything. I'm 7 months pregnant, Olivia hissed back. How careful do you expect me to be? Catherine's situation deteriorated similarly. The company audit expanded, uncovering more evidence of her systematic theft. She made desperate attempts to hide her tracks, but each move only revealed more irregularities. Tom watched his mother's composure crack during family dinners. Her hands shook when discussing company finances. She jumped at unexpected questions. The woman who'd orchestrated years of deception began making novice mistakes in her cover-up attempts. Through it all, Tom maintained his calculated approach. Each piece of evidence, each recorded conversation, each financial document built toward his ultimate goal. He shared updates during sessions with Megan, finding her insights invaluable in refining his strategy. They're approaching breaking points, she observed during one late meeting. The question is, who snaps first? The answer came from an unexpected direction. Bradley, feeling Rachel's investigation closing in, suggested cooling his relationship with Olivia. "We need to be smart," he told her in a conversation Morrison recorded. "Take a break until things settle down. The baby complicates everything." Olivia's reaction was immediate and fierce. "Take a break? Now? After everything we've planned? Don't be dramatic. You know I love you, but the timing. The timing?" Olivia's laugh held an edge of hysteria. "I'm carrying your child, Bradley. The timing shipped months ago." The recording captured their full argument. Bradley's attempts to placate her failed spectacularly. Olivia's emotional outburst drew attention from nearby hotel staff. Their careful secrecy crumbled in public view. Tom added the recording to his evidence file, noting how quickly pressure exposed the cracks in their relationship. He shared the development with Rachel, who used the information to increase scrutiny of Bradley's activities. The ripple effect spread quickly. Olivia's distress affected her work performance further. Bradley's distraction led to mistakes in company decisions. Catherine's attempts to manage the situation only created more suspicious financial transactions. Tom continued his sessions with Megan, their conversations evolving beyond professional counseling. They discussed philosophy, justice, the psychology of betrayal. Her understanding of his methodical approach to revenge created a connection neither had anticipated. "Most people seek revenge as an emotional release," she noted during one evening session. "You've turned it into an art form." "Not revenge," Tom corrected. "Justice. They chose their actions. I'm ensuring appropriate consequences." The distinction intrigued Megan. Their discussions often ran late, exploring the complex interplay between revenge and justice, emotion and calculation, pain and purpose. Meanwhile, Tom's targets spiraled further. Bradley faced increasing pressure from his board. Olivia struggled with both professional scrutiny and personal crisis. Catherine watched helplessly as her careful manipulations unraveled. The stage was set for Act Two's conclusion. Tom had orchestrated their destruction perfectly, watching as they destroyed themselves through their own choices and mistakes. The final act would begin soon, but for now, he observed their disintegration with cold satisfaction. His mother's words from the baby shower recording still drove him. "My idiot son would crumble if he knew." They had underestimated him, dismissed him as weak and unambitious. Their contempt would be their downfall. Tom Russell, the man they thought would break, had instead broken them, piece by calculated piece. The foundation was laid. The pressure points identified. The evidence compiled. All that remained was the final execution of his plan, but that would wait for the next phase. For now, he watched them crumble under the weight of their own deceptions, each day bringing them closer to their inevitable fall. Chapter 7. The Point of No Return. Tom Russell stood in the control room of the Grand Plaza Hotel's ballroom, watching the annual partner appreciation dinner unfold on multiple monitors. Each screen showed a different angle of Bradley Myers working the crowd, shaking hands, playing the role of successful CEO. "The presentation is ready," Rachel Myers said beside him, her designer gown and perfect makeup masking the satisfaction in her eyes. "Bradley's speech starts in 20 minutes. Your husband seems confident," Tom observed, noting how Bradley commanded attention from board members and clients alike. "He's practiced this speech for weeks. Integrity in business, his favorite topic lately." Rachel checked her phone. Olivia just arrived. Catherine's with her. Tom watched his wife and mother enter the ballroom. At 7 months pregnant, Olivia drew congratulations and attention. Catherine hovered nearby, maintaining her protective facade, while James Russell chatted with longtime clients. "Places everyone," Rachel announced, heading for the ballroom. Time for the final act. Tom adjusted his tie, reviewing the sequence they'd planned. The evidence was prepared, the timing coordinated, each moment choreographed for maximum impact. Bradley took the podium right on schedule, his charismatic smile gleaming under spotlights. "Good evening, distinguished guests. Tonight, we celebrate not just business success, but the principles that drive it. Integrity, trust, family values, Tom gave a subtle signal. The ballroom screens flickered to life, displaying the first surveillance photo. Bradley and Olivia entering a hotel, timestamp clearly visible. Bradley faltered mid-sentence as mutters rippled through the crowd. The screens changed, showing another image, then another. 3 years of secret meetings documented in high resolution. What is this? Bradley demanded, but his microphone had gone dead. Rachel stood up, playing her role perfectly. That's what I'd like to know, darling. Care to explain why you're meeting my husband's pregnant wife in hotels? The crowd's attention snapped between Bradley, Rachel, and the damning images cycling on screen. Olivia clutched her belly, face pale. Catherine moved to shield her, but Tom was already approaching the podium. Please, allow me, he said, his voice carrying through the shocked silence. Since we're discussing integrity, he activated a new file. The baby shower recording filled the ballroom. Catherine's voice crystal clear as she called her son an idiot while protecting Olivia's affair. Keep your mouth shut about the real father, Catherine's recorded voice commanded. My idiot son would crumble if he knew. James Russell stood frozen, staring at his wife. The color drained from Catherine's face as decades of deception crumbled in seconds. Tom faced the audience, his voice steady. Integrity isn't just about business deals. It's about family, trust, loyalty. My wife carried on a 3-year affair with Bradley Myers. My mother not only knew, but actively helped them hide it. The child Olivia carries belongs to your CEO. A fact my mother found amusing enough to joke about at my expense. Bradley tried to speak, but Tom wasn't finished. The screens now showed financial records, transaction histories, evidence of Catherine's embezzlement from Russell Construction. My mother stole from my father's company to finance their deception. Your CEO misappropriated corporate funds to maintain his affair. The documentation has been provided to relevant authorities and board members. Rachel stepped forward, adding her evidence to the destruction. The foundation's audit revealed numerous irregularities. Donations that never reached charities. Consulting fees paid to shell companies. All traceable back to my husband's personal accounts. The chaos that followed was precisely what they'd planned. Board members huddled in angry clusters. Clients pulled out phones, canceling contracts. Bradley's attempts at damage control fell apart as Rachel's carefully gathered evidence circulated through the crowd. Olivia fled the ballroom in tears, Catherine hurrying after her. Tom watched his mother's retreat, remembering years of subtle manipulation and dismissal. James Russell approached his son, his face ashen. The company books. Mike Donovan has the complete audit, Tom said quietly. I'm sorry, Dad. She's been stealing for years. The evening dissolved into exactly the kind of scandal Rachel had predicted. Bradley's reputation shattered as business associates distanced themselves publicly. The board members called an emergency session right there, their decision to remove him obvious in their expressions. Tom left the chaos behind, knowing the next phase would begin soon. Patricia Walsh's team waited to file papers the moment business opened tomorrow. His revenge wasn't complete, but the foundation of their carefully constructed lives had crumbled exactly as planned. In the hotel lobby, he passed Olivia sobbing in Catherine's arms. Neither woman looked at him. Their perfect world had ended, destroyed by the man they'd underestimated. Megan waited in his car, having watched everything through the hotel's security feed. Impressive execution, she said as he slid into the driver's seat. How do you feel? Tom started the engine, his voice cold. Like I just got started. Chapter 8, The Fall. The next morning dawned with precision-timed destruction. Patricia Walsh's legal team filed multiple actions simultaneously across 3 jurisdictions. Tom watched from her office as the wheels of justice began turning exactly as planned. Divorce papers served to Olivia at her firm, Patricia reported, checking updates. Corporate fraud charges filed against Bradley. Criminal complaints regarding Catherine's embezzlement submitted to prosecutors. Tom nodded, reviewing the documents. My father filed for divorce an hour ago. The evidence of Catherine's theft left him no choice. Patricia's smile was sharp. Your mother's facing serious charges. The audit shows years of systematic fraud. The impact hit quickly. Olivia's law firm, already concerned about her recent performance, placed her on immediate leave, pending an ethics investigation. The evidence of her affair with a major client, combined with questions about financial impropriety, threatened her license to practice. Bradley's removal as CEO was announced before noon. The board cited moral turpitude and breach of fiduciary duty in their statement. Rachel's divorce filing included demands for half his assets and full exposure of his financial misconduct. Tom monitored each development through his network of sources. Morrison reported Catherine had been served with both divorce papers and criminal charges while attempting to access company accounts. Mike Donovan confirmed the bank had frozen her access upon receiving evidence of embezzlement. "She's panicking," Morrison noted during their update meeting. Made 3 attempts to withdraw large sums from different branches. Each time, security called the police. The detective's surveillance captured Catherine's desperate attempts to contact Bradley, hoping to coordinate their stories. But Bradley had his own problems, facing both criminal charges and shareholder lawsuits. Tom's father withdrew to his workshop, processing the betrayal of 30 years of marriage. James Russell had trusted Catherine completely with company finances, never questioning her reports or decisions. "I should have seen it," he told Tom that evening, hands rough on a piece of wood he was sanding. The signs were there. Extra expenses, missing documentation, her constant pushing for expansion. "She fooled everyone," Tom replied, watching his father struggle with the truth. "Used our trust against us." James looked up, his eyes tired. "You saw it. Found the evidence. Protected the company." "I protected our family's legacy," Tom corrected. "Everything you built, she tried to steal. That ends now." Across town, Olivia faced her own reckoning. Her law firm's partners voted unanimously to terminate her employment. The ethics investigation threatened not just her current position but her entire legal career. Morrison's surveillance caught her failed attempt to meet Bradley, who refused to see her. "It's over," Bradley's voice snapped through recorded phone calls. "The board's freezing my accounts. Rachel's lawyers are circling. I can't help you. I'm carrying your child." Olivia screamed into the phone. "You promised we'd be together." "I promised a lot of things," Bradley replied coldly. "Survival matters more than promises." Tom added the recording to his evidence file, noting how quickly their affair collapsed under pressure. Catherine's attempts to intervene failed as her own legal problems multiplied. The paternity test results arrived during this chaos, confirming what Tom already knew. He forwarded copies to all relevant parties: Olivia's firm, Bradley's board, the divorce courts, and his mother. Patricia Walsh used the results to strengthen their legal position. "No custody issues now," she noted with satisfaction. "We're pushing for maximum financial penalties based on fraud and intentional infliction of emotional distress." The divorce proceedings moved quickly, backed by overwhelming evidence. Olivia's attempts to claim alimony fell apart as proof of her affair and financial misconduct emerged. The court's reaction to Catherine's involvement particularly pleased Tom. Her role in facilitating the affair and embezzlement destroyed any sympathy she might have received. Bradley's life imploded spectacularly. Rachel's divorce settlement stripped him of half his assets. The board's investigation revealed years of financial manipulation, leading to criminal charges. His carefully built empire crumbled within days. Catherine faced the harshest fall. The criminal investigation into her embezzlement expanded as more evidence emerged. Prosecutors filed multiple charges, each carrying significant penalties. The respected treasurer of Russell Construction became the target of extensive fraud investigations. Tom watched it all through his network of surveillance and sources. Each piece of evidence he'd gathered, each recording he'd made, contributed to their destruction. The people who'd betrayed him lost everything they valued: money, status, reputation. His mother's attempts to contact him went unanswered. Her messages grew increasingly desperate as legal pressure mounted. "Please, Tom," she begged in one recorded call. "I did it for you. Wanted you to have more, be more. Your father's influence was holding you back." He deleted the message without response, adding it to the evidence file. Her manipulation had ended. The woman who called him an idiot while protecting his wife's affair would face consequences for each decision. Chapter 9. Phoenix Rising. 1 year later, Tom stood in his new home's garden, watching Jessica play with her new puppy. The 5-year-old's laughter filled the space where betrayal once lived. "She's adapting well," Megan observed, joining him on the patio. Their relationship had evolved naturally from counselor and client to partners in healing. "Children are resilient," Tom replied, remembering the day he'd met Jessica at the foster care center. Her parents' death in a car accident had left her alone, but not broken. In her determination to survive, he'd found a kindred spirit. The adoption process had finished months ago, giving them both a new start. Jessica called him Daddy now, her trust healing parts of him he thought permanently damaged. The foundation board approved 3 new programs, Megan reported, shifting to business matters. Support services for children from broken homes, legal aid for betrayed spouses, financial counseling for fraud victims. Tom nodded with satisfaction. The Russell Foundation for Family Justice had emerged from the ashes of his revenge, channeling his resources into helping others survive betrayal. News of his target's fates arrived regularly through various sources. Catherine lived in a modest retirement facility in Nevada, her comfortable plans destroyed by legal fees and restitution payments. The woman who once criticized others' ambitions now worked part-time at the facility's gift shop to make ends meet. Olivia and Bradley had moved to another state, their reputations following them like persistent shadows. They worked lower-paying jobs, their professional careers ruined by scandal. Their daughter, Rebecca, would grow up never knowing the man who'd almost been her father. Tom's father found peace in his workshop, building furniture and rebuilding his life. James Russell had sold the construction company to a group of employees led by Mike Donovan, choosing to retire rather than face daily reminders of Catherine's betrayal. "The foundation's getting attention," Megan mentioned, showing him a news article. "Other organizations want to partner with us." Tom reviewed the proposal. "Expand carefully. Quality matters more than size." Their relationship had developed slowly, built on shared understanding of betrayal's complexity. Megan's analytical mind matched his own need for precision. Their evening discussions evolved from professional therapy to deeper connections. The garden filled with afternoon light as Jessica chased her puppy across the lawn. Tom watched her play, remembering the darkness that had led to this moment of peace. His revenge had been complete, destroying those who betrayed him. But true victory lay in what he built from the wreckage. A new family, a foundation helping others, a life stripped of false faces and empty promises. The scars remained, marking where trust had been broken and rebuilt. But they no longer defined his story. Tom Russell, the man they dismissed as simple and unambitious, had risen from betrayal's ashes stronger than before. The perfect lie had ended. A stronger truth had begun. Epilogue. A decade later, Thomas Russell stepped onto the stage of the National Family Justice Conference, his presence commanding immediate attention from the packed auditorium. At 42, he transformed from an architect into one of the country's leading advocates for victims of family fraud and betrayal. 10 years ago, I faced a choice, he began, his voice carrying authority earned through experience. Let betrayal destroy me, or use it to build something stronger. The Russell Foundation for Family Justice emerged from that decision. In the front row, Megan Russell, now his wife of 8 years, watched with pride. Their partnership had evolved from counselor and client into a powerful force for change. Together, they'd built the foundation into a nationwide organization helping thousands of families navigate betrayal's aftermath. Jessica, now 15, sat beside her mother, tablet in hand as she took notes. Their adopted daughter had grown into a passionate advocate herself, starting support groups for teens from broken homes. The trauma of losing her birth parents had transformed into a drive to help others heal. Last year, our foundation helped over 10,000 families, Tom continued. We provided legal support, counseling services, and financial protection for those facing situations similar to mine. But numbers don't tell the whole story. Each case represents lives torn apart by deception and our commitment to helping them rebuild. The Russell Foundation had become a model for victim advocacy, with offices in 12 states. Their programs ranged from emergency legal intervention to long-term psychological support. Tom's architectural background influenced their approach, building strong foundations for shattered lives. After the speech, Tom joined his family for lunch at their favorite restaurant. Jessica scrolled through messages on her phone, her dark hair pulled back in a practical ponytail. "Dad, Sarah from my support group needs advice," she said, looking up. Her mom's new boyfriend is stealing from their family business. Sound familiar? Tom exchanged glances with Megan. "Have her parents contact our legal team. We'll make sure they get help." Already sent them the foundation's number. Jessica's maturity in handling others' crises made them proud. Think they'll end up like Bradley and Olivia? The mention of those names prompted reflection on the decade's changes. Through their network of contacts, they'd kept tabs on all the players in their past drama. Bradley Myers had never recovered professionally. After serving 18 months for financial fraud, he tried starting various businesses, each failing as his reputation followed him. He worked now as a mid-level sales manager at a small company, his dreams of corporate empire reduced to meeting monthly quotas. Olivia's law career ended with her disbarment. She'd married Bradley after both their divorces, but their relationship cracked under financial pressure and mutual blame. They separated 3 years ago, sharing custody of their daughter Rebecca. Rebecca contacted the foundation last month, Megan mentioned, stirring her coffee. She's 17 now, wanting to understand her family's history. "Asked about meeting you." Tom considered the girl who might have called him father. What did she want to know? Everything. She found old news articles about the scandal. Bradley and Olivia told her different versions. She's looking for truth. Send her the case files, Tom decided. She deserves to know what her parents did, who they really are. Their conversation turned to Catherine Russell, whose fall had been particularly dramatic. After serving 5 years for embezzlement, she lived in the same Nevada retirement facility where she'd first landed. Her attempts at reconciliation with James Russell had failed. He'd never forgiven her betrayal. "Grandpa James called," Jessica reported. "He's finished my bookshelf. Says woodworking keeps him sane." James Russell had found peace in his workshop, crafting furniture for family and friends. He'd remarried 6 years ago to Clara, a kind widow who appreciated his simple approach to life. The qualities Catherine had mocked became his salvation. Tom's phone buzzed with a message from Mike Donovan. The former accountant had transformed Russell Construction into a successful regional firm, maintaining the ethical standards James had established. They'd renamed it Donovan and Associates, but kept the Russell family values. "Mike's daughter graduated law school," Tom shared. "Wants to join our legal advocacy team. Patricia could mentor her," Megan suggested, referring to Patricia Walsh, who now headed the foundation's legal division. The ruthless divorce attorney had found her true calling, helping other betrayed spouses navigate legal warfare. Their afternoon included a foundation board meeting where they reviewed recent cases. Rachel Myers, their longtime ally, served as chair of their investigative division. Her journalism background proved invaluable in exposing complex fraud schemes. "We've identified a pattern in domestic financial abuse cases," Rachel reported. "Similar to Catherine's methods. Small amounts stolen over time, hidden through fake business expenses." Rachel's own life had flourished post-divorce. She'd channeled her experience into investigative journalism, specializing in corporate fraud. Her series on domestic financial abuse won multiple awards and sparked legislative changes. Later that evening, in their home office, Tom reviewed updates on past foundation cases. Many mirrored his own story. Spouses discovering affairs, parents betraying children, families destroyed by lies. Each file represented lives they'd helped rebuild. "Morrison sent his quarterly report," Megan said, referring to the now-retired detective who still maintained their surveillance network. "Catherine tried contacting your father again. James blocked her number." James had remained firm in his rejection of Catherine's attempts at reconciliation. Her letters, filled with justifications and excuses, went unopened. The last decade had taught him the value of maintaining boundaries. "She's writing a memoir," Megan continued. "Claims she wants to set the record straight about everything." Tom smiled coldly. "We have recordings of everything. Let her try rewriting history." Their evening routine included video chat with Rebecca, Bradley, and Olivia's daughter. The teenager had begun regular conversations with them 6 months ago, seeking understanding of her family's past. "Mom's dating someone new," Rebecca reported. "Dad pretends it doesn't bother him, but he drinks more now. They both still blame each other for everything. How are you handling it?" Megan asked, her counselor's instincts engaging. Better since joining the Foundation's teen group. Helps knowing I'm not alone. Rebecca paused. Thanks for not hating me because of them. You're not responsible for their choices, Tom assured her. The girls' situation reflected their Foundation's core message. Children shouldn't carry their parents' guilt. The next morning brought news about Olivia. She'd been fired from another job, her history of ethical violations surfacing during a background check. Her pattern of deception continued, though on a smaller scale than before. She applied for assistance from a women's shelter in Phoenix, Rachel reported. Claimed domestic abuse from Bradley. Investigation proved she lied. Tom added the information to their files. A decade later, Olivia still relied on deception, unable to build an honest life from the wreckage of her choices. The Foundation's daily operations kept them busy. New cases arrived regularly, spouses discovering affairs, children uncovering parents' crimes, families facing financial ruin from trusted members' betrayal. Each situation reinforced the importance of their work. Jessica's involvement grew steadily. She'd inherited Tom's analytical mind and Megan's empathy, combining both in her approach to helping others. Her support group for teens expanded to multiple schools, creating safe spaces for young people processing family trauma. The guidance counselor at school asked me to speak at next month's assembly, she mentioned during dinner, about dealing with parents' betrayal and building trust again. Proud of you, sweetheart, Megan said. You've turned your experience into strength for others. Their family dynamic represented everything Catherine had dismissed. Success measured not in wealth or status, but in integrity and impact. The Russell Foundation's influence grew through genuine help offered, lives rebuilt, trust restored. Tom's architectural skills found new expression in designing recovery programs. Each initiative was structured carefully, built on solid principles, designed to withstand life's storms. The precision he'd once used for revenge now served reconstruction. The Foundation's annual report showed impressive growth. Their legal team had won landmark cases establishing precedents for spousal fraud. The counseling division developed innovative trauma recovery programs. Their financial protection initiatives helped hundreds secure assets from dishonest family members. We're expanding the scholarship program, Megan announced during their evening walk. Full college funding for students affected by family fraud. Rebecca's eligible when she graduates. Tom considered the irony. The daughter born of betrayal would have her education funded by its exposure. Make sure she knows it's based on her own merit, not her parents' history. Their home life reflected the stability they helped others achieve. Family dinners remained sacred time. Phones turned off, attention focused on genuine connection. Jessica thrived in this atmosphere of honesty and open communication. The decade had transformed Tom's revenge into something more powerful, systematic change in how society handled family betrayal. His story became a blueprint for others facing similar situations. Catherine's retirement facility provided regular updates, part of their monitoring system. She worked part-time in the gift shop, her dreams of wealthy retirement destroyed by legal consequences. Occasional messages still arrived, seeking forgiveness, offering explanations. She sent another letter. Megan reported one evening, says she's dying, wants to make peace. Tom filed the letter with others, unopened. Some bridges stay burned. His father supported this decision. James and Clara had built a happy life, his workshop producing beautiful furniture, their home filled with honest affection. Catherine's attempts to reconnect only reinforced the peace he'd found without her. Bradley's professional descent continued. Each business venture failed as potential partners discovered his history. The man who once commanded boardrooms now struggled to meet basic expenses, his reputation permanently damaged. He tried launching a real estate app, Rachel shared during their weekly update. Investors backed out after finding our case files online. Everything they touch still turns toxic. The Foundation's influence extended beyond individual cases. They consulted on legislation addressing family fraud, provided expert testimony in similar cases, and developed preventive education programs for schools and businesses. Their home became a gathering place for Foundation events, strategy sessions, and support group meetings. The garden where Jessica once played now hosted outdoor workshops and healing circles. Each space carried purpose, reflecting their commitment to helping others rebuild. Tom's public speaking engagements increased as their reputation grew. He shared their story at conferences, universities, and corporate seminars. The foundation's message resonated: betrayal need not define your future. 10 years ago, they thought I would crumble, he told Megan late one night. Instead, we built something they can't touch, can't diminish, can't destroy. The Russell Foundation for Family Justice stood as testament to transformation, from revenge to reconstruction, from pain to purpose. Their work continued, helping others navigate paths they'd walked, building strength from betrayal's ashes. The perfect lie had ended, but its impact rippled through decades. In its place grew something stronger, truth that helped others survive, rebuild, and thrive despite betrayal's scars. This is where our story comes to an end. Share your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks for your time. If you enjoy this story, please subscribe to this channel. Click on the video you see on the screen, and I will see you there.